Welcome back, fisherwomen, fishermen. We are doing something a little different here at Aktuba. I've never fished in this spot before. I hope we can get there walking the way that we're going. You could also take a boat. Arguably, it could be a little faster by boat, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I am first time I've ever fished in this spot, so really don't know what to expect. But this is the spot that I was talking about. Hearing from multiple sources has been pretty good lately. We're primarily going to be catching buffalo and big-headed carp. Let me see if I can find the spot here. My rods are all set up with the right baits and everything. I just need to find the I think it's right here. I think basically it is right here. All right, so we have let me get everything set up and then I'll go over. There's probably too many people to actually necessarily like give credit to one person for this, but I will tell you the people that I have heard about it from. This is certainly not a spot that I discovered myself. So we're clipping at 10 meters, which for these carp rods might be the shortest clip I've ever done. And all right. So first of all, in general, I'm set up with classic hair rigs. Same strength line and everything that I've been using for carp fishing at Amber. Size 1, large 1 hooks, which is kind of the accepted standard right now for carp fishing in the game. So baits, we're using Helen Van Zant Red Krill Pellets 18, Soluble Crab and Mussel 18, Red Krill Dip, and then we've got 2 different PVAs, okay? This is the first PVA. If you need to pause it, you can look at that. That was sent to me by Carp Guy, but it came from someone else, and I will tell you that in a minute. And then this is the other one. Most of my PVA bags are made up with this recipe. Now, this recipe was posted on the forums by Gore Grinder, okay? But like I said, I've heard about this spot at this point from multiple sources. This one was, I might have to look in my messages. It was sent to me from Carp Guy, but it was mixed by Agvana, and I believe that's the person that told Carp Guy about this spot. So again, I don't know who found it first. I think at this point, plenty of people have tried it. I've been hearing it's pretty good, so I wanted to try it myself. So we're going to give it a go. And that's what leads us to here. Again, we're hoping to be catching buffalo and big-headed carp. But I would say, from seeing how Carp Guy was doing yesterday, we may occasionally still catch other carp like commons or even grass, or, you know, a lot of times tench will mess with your stuff in carp spots. So we will see. Let's see what this is. First fish is a crucian. Okay. I'm kind of surprised that the clip is 10 and not like 12 in this spot, but I will go with what I have heard for now. And it does look like at least the person who posted about this spot on the forum did mention casting at that. Sort of those weeds that you see over there. So I might not be cast exactly in the right spot on the second two lines. I don't know. Excuse me. I was trying to see from the pictures that have been posted what the bite frequency looked like it was. It is weird that we have not had... How long has it been? Not long. I guess maybe it's too early to question the spot yet, but one thing that is nice is it's such a short cast. Only the strongest fish, you know, are not gonna just be able to come right in quickly. And if you also look where we are on the map, you have some options, like if you were trying to do this with undersized gear, like alpha sort of size or whatever, you might be able to sort of maneuver the fish and kind of wear them out, given how close you are in these canals to the shore. As long as they don't get out in the open water, you may be okay. As much as I love carp fishing, I don't always love the patience it requires. I guess it's usually like the first time I try a spot, because you just don't know what to expect. And so you don't know, like, is it worth it yet to be patient? But I really may at least recast one of these second two lines to make sure I'm aimed at the right spot. I'm trying to remember. I don't think that buffalo carp are any more active at night than they are in the day. All right, there's a bite on the second line. That looks like that's going to be something decent. Yeah, that looks like a bighead, doesn't it? Okay, so there's the first of the two species that we're really going for. Bighead carp. All right, let's make sure we cast in the right direction and don't overcast at all. I'm not going to even close the handle till it settles. All right, there it is. So we know that second rod is in the right place now. If we suddenly get another bite on the second rod before anything else, then I will certainly recast, especially the third one. But that's a nice fish. You saw it was nice experience. The silver is okay. Same with the buffalo, I believe. I remember the very first time I fished for buffalo, and let's see what the largest one we have is. Looks like 9 kilos. The very first time I fished them, I was kind of like, okay, is this sort of like another variation of bream? But they are a little bigger, obviously, than bream, kind of like twice the size on average, maybe even a little more than that. So that really wasn't the correct first impression I had. I think I had just seen the picture of them and I didn't really sort of realize the size of them until I started pulling them out of the water. I think they're pretty decent on XP and silver, but we'll have to find out together because I don't remember for sure. All right, that's another bighead. Now this is the weakest of our lines. So that was 9 kilo. So we're getting 28K total experience. We could get another 9 if we released it, but that's not bad. This is our weakest line. It's our Everest 2, and the strength comes up to 22.5 kilos. I actually need to make a leader that fits the line better, like close to 24, and we could get a little more strength out of it. We'll see if we can do that. If I don't have the materials with me, we'll just have to do it another time. We would want to do probably 25 centimeters, and we want 24 kilo fluorocarbon line. I'm not sure that fluorocarbon line would be necessary here, but just in case. And I don't see it. So we would either need to purchase some leader material or just some straight fluorocarbon line that comes in around 24 kilos. The other thing we could do is just do a mono line. I do have 23, but I don't have 24. So I guess we're just gonna suffer through the slight less power coming out of our Everest. And our Everest could get more power than what we've got it set up. We could overload it just slightly, a little bit more, or we do have it overloaded slightly, but we have our leader down to the size that really matches more of what the Everest power is, is without overloading, which I think is fine. The Everest is a high enough quality reel that I think you could get a little bit more. The actual power of it is going to be a little greater than that, I think. All right, we want to see our first buffalo, right? Two big heads are nice, but sure would be nice to spy our first buffalo. What we really want to do is beat that record that I've got, get higher than 9 kilo. So the only place I've ever fished for buffalo before now is in the pond, in this little pondy area at Tuba. And there have been some pretty decent buffalo and maybe silver carp spots. Is that a thing? Am I remembering correctly there, guys? Is it silver? Silver carp. Yep. And I think those are even better, significantly better experience. Or maybe it's silver. There's something that, like, those are really, I think, pretty nice carp to catch here at Tuba if they're biting. Is my memory of it. Does anybody know, I'd be curious if anybody knows this off the top of their head, if how active Corey is. I was thinking about doing another Corey trolling video just because it's been a while, and I know that some folks are there right now in their natural progression. So I was wondering, looks like some nice quarry char have been caught. All right, I'm back. Just coordinating with my daughter. So let's see through the night, through the afternoon, evening, and overnight, what this spot is like. Okay, here was another fish on our first line. Something small though. Oh, it got off. That's my fault. I was too quick. I've just been sort of like impatient here. I should have just let it go. That did pop back just a little bit. Because I sometimes do pop them back, I am tempted to go like 11 clip, just knowing that I'm going to pop back some. Do you need to use them, you're saying, or what? Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so anyway, it's tempting to go 11 just since I pop it back so much. So we missed a fish there. It's been 12 minutes ago, 7 minutes ago, 6 minutes ago, and then this would be like 1 minute ago. So far the timing of the fish bites hasn't been too bad. I'm just a little impatient right now, but overall I'd say the bite rate's been okay. So apparently Carp Guy ended up fishing here for a while and caught a trophy buffalo. Let's see if it shows up on yeah, there it is. That's a nice buffalo. Holy cow. So he did catch a nice fish here, but he's also saying that it felt a little slow to him too. So now, right now, it's hard to say because we're in the middle of a lightning storm and there's just no telling what that's going to do. But hopefully we'll catch a fish on the first line again soon, and I'm going to try 11 clip on that one, and we'll stay 10 clip on the other two. I don't think there's a strong enough current here as there are in some parts, but we do have, especially on these back two, we've got these current resistant sinkers on there, so we should be good for that. Yeah, it just looks like it's a little bit of a slow bite right now. I mean, at least it's not on fire, but if you're a little more patient than I am and can just kind of sit it out, it does sound like pretty good fish are coming out of the water. And we've already had two nice big heads, so, and missed one, missed a fish of some sort. And you know what I'm going to end up doing here, right? Going to end up taking that third line out, pulling out my match rod, putting on mayfly, and see if we can catch some whitefish out here. Yep, that day is coming soon. In fact, I'll probably do it in the next in-game hour or so before it gets to be overnight, because overnight that's going to be pointless unless we want to set up a thing for eastern bream. We could see if eastern bream are here, but I think we probably, I mean, that would be feeders anyway, so we might as well just keep targeting what we know is supposedly here if we're not going to be float fishing. And you know, this spot, I've heard about this spot for the past 3 days. It is possible that it was a flash in the pan thing. That's why we're here testing it. See if it's still active. If the buffalo have moved out, and I'm not saying they have, we just don't know yet. But if they have, and so all we're waiting for are the big-headed carp bite, that would not be good. I think that would take a lot from the spot. Not that the big-head carp are bad, but they're just going to be slower, if that's all that's really here right now. We caught that crucian, so we know that we probably on floats could, you know, put bread or something out there and level up float fishing that way. But it'd be a lot more fun if there are any herring or something like that in the water. About 18 more in-game minutes and we're going to try it. Because this honestly is more and more starting to feel too slow. All right, we're going to switch here in just a second. Let's go ahead and get our lights set up, though, because it will be night before we know it. No activity at all, huh? It is possible, though, that it's the rain. Could be slowing it down a little more than it already was slowed down. Now, we basically want to set this back up to do... Oh, wait. What happened to our... No, that's not it. Didn't we have? Oh no, that was the one we were using. I'm getting a little confused. Okay, we don't need that big a line on there. Let's go to 6.5, and we're gonna do 4.3, 18 hook, mayfly. All right, still no bites. I think the river's going that way. And do we want to clip this? Okay, let's catch this fish first. All right. Maybe we can salvage. Oh, look what it is, guys. That is great news. So pretty nice XP. It's not even that big of a buffalo. I like it. I am going to put this on 11 clip for the reason I shared before. And we'll see if that totally messes it up or if it's still fine. All right, there's the first buffalo. I like it. All right, let's see what happens here. Oh, I didn't check the depth. I guess we'll just see if we get any bites first. Might be a little too far of a cast. I think we kind of want it right in the middle. If I'm... I believe we have another fish on. Did you notice how fast that bite was on the 11 clip? That is curious, isn't it? All right, that's a big head. I like it. I like it a lot. 2 in a row. Things are looking a little more promising all of a sudden. Are we getting a nibble over there? Let's try to go right in the middle. So let's clip at 7. And just to be on the consistent side, let's put the 3.2 leader back on there. That's still too far. So I guess we'll clip at 5 and try to cast short. I didn't check depth again. I'm thinking like 0.80 or 80 centimeters, 0.8 meters. That's what I'm thinking. And that might be what it's already on, actually. Doesn't look good, does it? All right, clip at 5, and oh, depth is only 40. All right, let's go to 80. Short cast. There we go. We might be able to clip 6. That was clip 5. Might be okay at 6, kind of half the difference in the last 2 casts. But if there's any whitefish here, this should do it. Like, we should see one here. And if there's not, then again, we can switch to bread for a couple minutes, see what we catch, and then just go back to what we're supposed to be fishing for here. Yeah, if they were here at all, I would say we'd be getting a bite. Yeah, all right. Let's try just switching that over to bread. That's all we're going to change on it. We'll go back to 6 meter clip. All we're changing is bread, same hook size, still 18, same leader, Oh, leader needs to be bigger. We'll try this once, but leader should be 5.4. Even with an 18 size hook. Wow, it caught me so off guard. I almost freaked out a little bit. All right, a little bigger leader. See if we can get another bite on bread. Then we'll try worm just for fun. Then we'll switch back to what we're supposed to be fishing with. That's what I don't like about, you know, like fishing with bread and stuff. Like sometimes you get these fish that are going to be nibbling. It's not that clean bite that we get on the whitefish. I'm going to have to be a little more patient to make sure it's really on there. All right, is that a roach? Seems like a pretty decent fish. Oh, we've got 2 bites. Okay, that's a buffalo, isn't it? It looks like a nice one. Yes, 12.39. I like it. That's a common. All right, let's try this one more time. Oh yeah, we were gonna do worms, weren't we? A little bigger hook and try worms on there, just for fun. Oh, there's another fish on the first line. It's like the bite rate is suddenly picking up. I think there's another fish on, maybe not. Yeah, I think there's a fish on both. Wait, is that a fish on or is that just the, is it drifting a little bit? Huh. Both lines sort of moved briefly. Alright. Let's just skip float. Let's just get our other carp rod back in the water. Seems like at night it might be a little better. It's been pretty solid here recently. That roach is slightly too big for a bait fish. It's a grass. Interesting. So now we're starting to see a little bit of everything, aren't we? Grass, common, buffalo, bighead, crucian. If we stayed long enough, we'd eventually probably catch a tench. A lot of species potentially here. So we caught a 12.3 kilo buffalo. That is our new largest one, huh? That's cool. We set our new personal record. I don't know. I guess I'll have to decide if I think this is worth spending a little more time here later on today. It'd be really cool to get my first trophy buffalo. I guess some of it may depend on what the silver looks like. Magnum just caught an eastern bream. That's interesting. All right. Let's see what happens during the overnight hours. Okay. It's still not technically like overnight yet. This will be sort of the last pre-overnight fish if it goes ahead and gets on here. But anything after this I would consider in the overnight. This is an interesting fish. We may have to let it, might want to just be a little extra careful on this not to pop a hook. This could just be like a mid-sized grass carp, or it might be something really exciting. with such a sort of slow bite rate, like, I just don't feel any need to rush this. Let's just let it do its thing. Not take chances, hopefully tire itself out a little bit. Alright, now I think we get a little more aggressive. We've got a second fish on and it's pulling line. So let's go ahead and drag this one in. Take the chance that the hook could pop out. It's been on for a while, so the thinking here is like, hopefully it will not pop out. I can even walk towards it a little bit. Can't tell if that's this one that's... What we really need is some energy here. Goodness. I don't hear the other one pulling line anymore, so maybe we're okay. Maybe I can stop being crazy here. Because we just have no energy. Alright, it's pretty close to us right now. Guess we could drag it just a little bit. Just kind of want to sneak a peek down at the other line. Yeah, it's still on there. This should be a pretty nice fish. And what we have to remember is that the other fish, well, uh-oh, is that a bighead? I was hoping it was going to be a buffalo. If it's a bighead, it might not be that special. If we had full energy right now, we would already have it in, I think. It's so close to us. Actually, a little nervous about it popping off right at our feet here. I don't like where I'm standing, but I don't really want to move again. I think we probably could put our net out right now. and pretty much get it. Yeah. Oh, is that a silver? No, that's a big head, right? All right, let's see if we can do that. Let's just save the... Okay. Yeah, that's a nice big head, 21.4. So we'll have to check and see where that ranks for me. Okay. Holy cow. This thing is... Yeah, this did pull out a lot. I think it was just because my drag was a little low. With this, with the beluga, we would be safe to have the drag higher than that. Can I not walk this way? Oh, here we go. See, it's just way down the river. I don't want to pull it across the water. I mean, across the land, if possible. Did that fish just pop off? Nope. Okay. It is a long way away, though. This is sketchy. If I can get down to where it looks like it's pretty much straight in front of us and in the water, then I'll stop moving. The more you move, I feel like the more chance that fish is going to come off. But I do not like the not knowing how much land we would be dragging it across. Alright, so is it just right down there? Yeah, I think so. This also seems to be a pretty nice fish. And it's still got some fight in it. Alright, let's get right down over here to this. Right down to this edge, this point. And then we're just going to have to fight it. Drag it in. If we gently drag here, ooh. Again, please be a buffalo, but I think that's very unlikely, especially on this rod and reel. We just, while we can get it in, it's not fighting at the moment. Let's just get in as much as we can because we just don't want it going on the other side of that lip of that next piece of land there. We want to keep it so that it can't put any land between us and the fish. Alright, we're slowing down on being able to reel it now. Let's try to... Let's see if we can get it moving again. Nope. Don't like this at all. Okay. We're moving again. It's another nice fish. Just want to make sure I'm not, yeah, I think I'm seeing it correctly. It started to pull there. We're just reeling right through it. Oof, not this time. Okay. In my experience, when you see it pulling real hard, if you want to be safe, don't reel against it. Those are the moments that I pull the most hooks out of carp's mouth. Is when I'm pulling real hard one direction and it's pulling real hard the other direction. And the other thing is, I think it's safer to not shift reel when you're in a big fight like this, but I'm not always patient enough to not shift reel. I mean, I just tend to do it, but I do think that's a riskier thing to do. I'm trying to get my comfort level back up. If the comfort level doesn't go back up, we're going to start losing energy pretty fast. As long as we keep comfort level up with this rod and reel, we should be fine on energy, even if we have to get aggressive with it. It's worth noting, if you saw at the beginning of the video, I showed you the two different PVA mixes. The last two fish you've seen, this one and that last bighead, were on two different PVA mixes. Same baits besides that, but the mixes are different. Can y'all identify that? Looks like another bighead to me, right? Maybe not. Hold on. Just seeing the side of it like that, it might not be what I think it is. Hold on. Yeah, it is. Yeah, and it was ready to come in, wasn't it? So the last one was how big? 24051. 21. So this one's even bigger. Wow. Man. Those are some big heads. All right. And remember, this one was at 11 clip, actually, while the last one was at 10 clip. And I don't know if it's because of this braided line leader. We're using fluorocarbon on the other three, but we're not catching as much on this third line. And I can't really explain that. 24. So let's see if we'd ever had a bigger bighead than that. Nope, that was our biggest ever. And I'm guessing the last one we caught was probably our biggest ever before that. So a couple of nice bigheads. I don't know how much they're worth. We'll find out here shortly. We're going to have to wrap this up very soon. I did want to sort of try to finish the overnight hours, which we're nearly there, just to see if another bite would come in. Both bigheads, big bigheads, came in either very late in the evening or during overnight hours. So that's an interesting... I just need to test the spot some more to see, get a feel for it over longer periods of time. We've got two fish on those same two lines again, and again, I think we need to change something about that third line. It has been consistently slow the whole time we've been here. Is that a tench? Yeah, there's the tench for you. So now we have caught a little bit of everything. Got a nibbler. Yeah, if I do this spot again, I think I would make a fluorocarbon leader to fit that third line instead of using the braided. It just may be that at tuba the braided leaders don't work quite as well as they do at amber, and that may just be, it may not be true at all. I mean, I might be wrong on that, but it just feels like something's going on. With that third line. Uh-oh. Is that floating? Was that drifting? What do we have on this one? Yeah, this probably isn't the best. We might also should change the sinker on this first line. I think that drifted just a bit. Or maybe it's a fish already on there. I certainly hope that's a fish and not the current taking it that much. Is that... That's crazy if that was a current. Hmm. 12.3 kilo buffalo, not bad. So what's the weekly big head right now in USA? So 32. Okay. Hmm. Well, the nighttime hours were solid, although we spent them on some two pretty big fights. Just trying to wait for one more fish here. Middle line might come through for us. Yeah, so I think if I do this spot again, I'll change the leader on the third line and I'll put a better sinker on the front line. Woo! I don't know. Goodness. Of course, I left the friction brake way too high there. That's a grassy. This friction brake's more appropriate. And that's a common. And this line couldn't catch a fish if it had to. Alright, because we are pretty far, it was a pretty long walk here. I'm just going to re-log real quick. I think loading back in will take less time than hoofing it back. So let's see. I don't know. Let's see how we did. I've got some mixed feelings about this spot, but I think it's worth it. It's just like tantalizing, the possibility of catching a trophy buffalo or even a trophy bighead, I guess. I'm guessing the silver at amber, a good, a couple of those spots we've been trying lately might be a little more consistent. But let's see. You could get good cafe orders to go with. We're catching several different species of fish, so I may be wrong. This may be better silver than I realize. Well, let's find out, shall we? I'm tempted to move this game over to my SSD. Probably cut these load times down to almost nothing. I've never really felt the need to before, but I might re-download it over there. All right, so we have a common carp order and a buffalo order. So that's going to help us, right? We've got, I guess let's see how we did. So 248 silver. That's pretty good, and we'll get a little more than that because of the cafe orders. That's kind of better than I thought it was going to be, I'd say. Oh shoot, that's a big buffalo order. There's a small one. Look at that. Trophy buffalo order. Like totally worth doing for that. I'm not going to have time to do it today. The order will be up by the time I'm done. But man, that would be nice. All right, so 32 silver for that. And then we're still getting 126. So let's see. Yeah, 50 and 45 for those two big heads. That's not bad. So we end up with what, like almost 300 silver in just under an hour. So that spot seems good. That spot seems like it's probably worth it. I think we'll come back and do that some more. Try it again, see if we have the same luck or better luck or whatever next time. All right, as always, thanks for watching. I will see you again later. We might do this again. I had fun. It's just like that first time getting to know what the bite rate's going to be and all that. We'll see. But I will hope to see you again. Thank you so much for all your support.